Giorgia! Sono una donna! Sono una madre! Sono italiana! Sono cristiana! Non me lo toglierete!
She grew up without a father, in a modest Roman neighborhood, raised by a single mother. From student activism to the corridors of power, she defied the odds to rise as Italy's very first woman prime minister. She is one of the most influential leaders in Europe, and a global voice that cannot be ignored. This is the story of Giorgia Meloni, her struggles, her rise, her achievements, and her controversies. Childhood and early life. Giorgia Meloni was born on January 15, 1977, in Rome, Italy. Her early life was far from easy. Her father, a tax advisor of Sardinian origin, left the family when Giorgia was just a toddler. Raised by her mother, Anna Paratore, along with her sister in the working-class district of Garbatella, Rome, Meloni often recalls these struggles as shaping her resilience. Growing up in modest conditions, Giorgia developed a strong sense of responsibility, independence, and resilience at an early age. She studied languages in school and worked part-time jobs, even as a babysitter and waitress to help her family. Entry into politics and early political career. At just 15 years old, Meloni joined the youth wing of the Italian Social Movement, a right-wing party with roots in Italy's post-war conservative movements. She quickly became active in student politics, showing charisma and fiery oratory skills. By her 20s, she was deeply involved in party organizations, eventually becoming a provincial councillor in Rome. In 2006, at the age of 29, Meloni entered Italy's Chamber of Deputies, marking the beginning of her national career. Only 2 years later, in 2008, she was appointed Minister of Youth under Silvio Berlusconi's government, making her one of the youngest ministers in modern Italian history. This gave her national recognition and cemented her reputation as a rising star of the right-wing political movement in Italy. Formation of Brothers of Italy, Fratelli d'Italia. In 2012, dissatisfied with the direction of mainstream conservative parties, Giorgia co-founded Brothers of Italy, Fratelli d'Italia, a right-wing nationalist party. At first, the party was small and seen as fringe, but Giorgia's leadership, charisma, and strong stances on immigration, national sovereignty, and family values slowly gained traction. Her message was clear: God, homeland, family, appealing to conservatives, and those disillusioned with traditional politics. By 2014, she was party president, and a decade later, Brothers of Italy became the dominant force on the Italian right. The road to Prime Minister Italy went through years of political instability. Coalition after coalition collapsed. In the 2022 elections, Brothers of Italy stunned observers, winning the largest share of the vote in the center-right coalition. On October 22, 2022, Giorgia Meloni was sworn in as Italy's first female prime minister, a historic moment in the country's history. At just 45 years old, she stood at the peak of Italian politics. Her victory was historic, not just for Italy, but for Europe, as it marked the first time a woman led the country in its long history. Giorgia Meloni has always been private about her personal life. She was in a long-term relationship with journalist Andrea Giambruno, and they have a daughter named Ginevra, born in 2016. But in October 2023, their relationship ended in a scandal after Giambruno's off-air remarks, considered sexist and vulgar, were leaked to the public. Meloni publicly announced their separation, balancing her duties as prime minister with her role as a single mother. Ms. Meloni said the relationship, which lasted almost 10 years, ends here. Our paths have been different for some time. It's time to acknowledge it. Despite the breakup, Meloni remains focused on her role as prime minister and mother, often saying that motherhood is central to her identity. Achievements in leadership. Giorgia Meloni transformed Brothers of Italy from a fringe party to Italy's most powerful political force. She became the first female prime minister, breaking a glass ceiling in one of Europe's traditionally male-dominated political landscapes. As prime minister, Meloni has pushed for strict immigration policies, aiming to curb illegal crossings from North Africa, tax reforms to ease burdens on families and businesses, support for traditional family values, including measures for working mothers, energy security, especially in light of the Russia-Ukraine war, a strong stance on Italy's sovereignty within the European Union, often clashing with Brussels. Controversies and feuds. Meloni is not without controversies. Meloni is firm on reducing illegal migration. She has pushed for stronger borders and faster deportations, policies applauded by her supporters but criticized by humanitarian groups and EU partners. While abortion remains legal in Italy, Meloni resists efforts to make it a broader political or EU priority, sparking controversy among women's rights groups. Despite allies in her coalition who once admired Vladimir Putin, Meloni aligned with the West, supporting sanctions and aid for Ukraine, though sometimes criticized for not being vocal enough. Her party voted against Ursula von der Leyen's re-election as European Commission President, straining ties with Brussels. Meloni and French President Emmanuel Macron clashed repeatedly, particularly over migration policy and Italy's refusal to accept certain migrant ships. Critics never fail to highlight her party's origins in Italy's post-fascist movement. Meloni insists she rejects fascism and upholds democracy, but suspicions remain. Global popularity. Despite controversies, Giorgia Meloni has become one of the most popular leaders in the world. She has a clear brand: patriotic, nationalist, family-oriented. She connects her personal struggles with her political vision. She rose at the right time when mainstream parties were losing credibility. Her fiery speeches and authenticity resonate with ordinary Italians. Polls consistently show her approval ratings remain strong in Italy. On the international stage, her speeches defending national identity and sovereignty have gone viral, making her a symbolic figure for right-wing movements worldwide. Her straightforward, passionate communication style connects deeply with both supporters and critics. By 2024, she wasn't just Italy's leader, she had become one of the most recognized conservative leaders in the world. From a fatherless childhood in Garbatella to the grand halls of Palazzo Chigi, Giorgia Meloni's story is one of resilience, ambition, and controversy. To her supporters, she is a strong and principled leader defending Italian identity. To her critics, she represents the dangerous return of far-right politics. But one thing is certain: Giorgia Meloni has changed Italian politics forever and carved her name on the global stage. Whether history remembers her as a reformer, a nationalist firebrand, or a controversial figure will depend on the years to come. For now, she remains one of the world's most fascinating political leaders. Thank you for staying with me till now. Please consider subscribing my channel and hit the like button. See you in the next video.